Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Short video on a few topics. First, I am tired of hearing people say the federal government and the powers that be want to get into a conflict with us so they can stamp on us, stamp us down. Sometimes when I hear that, I want to tell the source, don't be scared. We have one of the most important, and I would say sacred, documents written by man, and that is the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. These documents give us power. Power that if you understood it, you would not shake in your boots every time you heard the word federal government. Or when you needed to take a stand, you would feel empowered to take a stand. But I think there's a movement out there, and I think it's being pushed by higher up, the powers that be, to always say it's futile to fight the United States government with their infrastructure. You are taking out a component. You are taking out red-blooded Americans. And they come in all colors, all shapes, all forms. But the bottom line is they're red-blooded Americans. And what pumps through their veins is freedom, is liberty, is self-reliance. So I'm tired of people saying there's no way we can take on the federal government. We have to work within the system. The system that we have right now is not the system we need to work in. That system is the Constitution. And that's what we need to address with our grievances. The system that you keep telling, hey, work in the system, vote. That system is broken, it is flawed, and it is controlled by them. It's not the system we need to work through. The system we need to work through is the Constitution. And if you studied that, you would be emboldened. You would see that we are in the right. We have the power to change the way it's done. I enjoyed Donald Trump's speech. I listened to about 3/4, maybe a little bit more of it. I enjoyed what he said. I finally heard an American speak to his fellow Americans and pushed America first. Most politicians, they're globalists. Donald Trump, I don't think he is the best candidate in the world. There's things I don't like about Donald Trump. But he is speaking to Americans, whatever color you are, whatever creed you are. We need to change this corrupt system. I'm going to stop now because really the purpose of this video was not to go in this direction. Another thing I want to say is we had an open carry state. We had demonstrators. We had law enforcement. And if you see, I don't think a single person carrying a weapon did anything wrong. Compare those few days to Chicago, where you have the ultimate gun control area. Look how many people were shot and murdered in Chicago compared to an area that had open carry. And everybody says, oh, you can't have open carry. People will shoot each other. There'll be fights in the streets. No, an armed society is a good society. It's safer for you. Next, I want to talk about the topic I wanted to talk about and originally do the video. And that is, we have law enforcement, we have EMS personnel, we have fire department personnel, emergency response people. I have resigned my position with the fire department. I need to spend time on other things. Get back to what I'm called to do. And I thoroughly enjoyed the 4 years with them. I learned so much, but for me, it's time to switch gears a little bit. But what I am worried about is the plan to take care of first responders in any huge disaster. The reason is I've talked to a lot of first responders, and their concern is their family. You know, they put a lot on the line for us. And in a really big crisis, who's going to protect their family? Is there a plan to do that? So I'm going to work with a few friends I know, and hopefully most of these friends in law enforcement or friends of friends are going to do their part. They got to prep a little bit. I'm not going to take care of them, but I want to provide a safe location. So if there's riots in the streets, we secure their family. We bring them to a safe location. We have the means to alternative communication so we can talk to their loved ones, wherever, if they're first responders, law enforcement, police, EMS, fire. They will know their family is safe. So you know what they can do? They can stay on the front lines longer. They don't have to worry. What does that do for the prepper community? Well, first of all, you're going to get some trained officers, you're going to get some trained paramedics, you're going to get some trained fire department that are teaming up with you. So definitely you can get some training from them. You're also going to get inside information. You know, if they're on the streets, they're going to give you some real intel. And to me, that's important. And if the situation in this country deteriorates where they have to leave the streets because they can't maintain them, or a system of government comes on the scene that is totally unconstitutional and is doing things they shouldn't be doing, they can leave the scene, join a prepper group. So I'm going to take it personally, and I'm going to talk to someone else in law enforcement and offer him the opportunity to have a safe location for his family, be it any emergency. Now, these people have to do their part. They just can't assume I'm going to take care of everything. But I want law enforcement, I want emergency personnel on the streets as long as possible in any situation. As a fireman, I've responded to things because of big thunderstorms that caused a lot of trees to go down. So I left my house, I left my wife. I can honestly say I didn't like that. And that situation I knew was a little local, problem. I've actually left during severe thunderstorms when trees are creaking and cracking, and I left my house, left my wife by herself. So for me, this is really personal. If it was a huge disaster, and it could be a riot, economic war, whatever you want, a huge disaster, would I be so willing to jump up and leave my wife? I will tell you no. My first responsibility is to my wife. Would it be morally wrong? As a volunteer fireman, they're counting on me. So it's a fine line. My family comes first, and with anyone as a first responder, their family comes first. But we, as a prepper, or we as a community, need to make sure we have their back, because they got our back. While I sleep at night, I got deputy sheriffs patrolling the streets. I don't live in a very bad area, but if you live in an area that has high crime, when you sleep, there's guys willing, and gals willing, to lay their life down for you. I don't want anybody on here saying, cops are bad, cops enforce unconstitutional law. I know a lot of cops, and I can assure you that most of them are great cops who love their job, love their community, and willing to take a bullet for you. I know these cops because they put themselves in bad situations every day. So we as a prepper community need to think, hey, how can we make sure these guys can stay on the front lines, guys and gals? I'm going to do my part. Are you going to do your part? Thanks for watching.